Venice, is it Florida's best beach town?
We're going to tell you why we think so, and we're getting started right now.
If you're looking to buy or sell a home in the Venice, Sarasota area, make sure to call, text, or email us. I am a local realtor here. My information will be in the description box below.
So before we get into all the reasons we think why, I just want to throw this out there because we like to do this from time to time, but let you know that we looked at pretty much all of Florida before moving to Venice. So even though you might think we're biased because we live here,
there is a reason why.
We picked this place because of that, and also it wasn't the first place we moved in Florida. So just so you know.
So before moving to Venice, we took a drive through the Gulf Coast and decided that Venice was going to be it. But also recently we took a drive to the Atlantic coast, and now we have a little more, you know, cities and different towns to compare it to. And honestly, I think we made a good decision.
A really good choice, yeah. And like she said, so we've basically seen from Cocoa, no, not even Cocoa, north of Cocoa, New Smyrna, all the way down. So we're more interested in that southern half of Florida, as you can tell, because it's a little bit warmer in the winters. And then we've seen everything from Tampa down on the west coast, and a lot of the central of Florida too, for like
Orlando area.
Orlando, small towns like Okeechobee. But we're talking beach towns in this video. So let's get into some of the differences between Venice and pretty much everyone else and why we think it's better.
One of the first things that really stands out for us, and it stood out back then when we were trying to figure out where we wanted to be, is the low crime here in Venice. Now living here, we know that it is not just numbers on area vibes or niche.com. It's like, it's real. It's not very dangerous, and that's one of the reasons I think why we wanted to be here.
Yeah, when we first came, we could see it, we could feel it, like the energy, the people, like everything. When we came, we're like, yeah, I could probably leave my car doors unlocked. I don't know if I'm going to, but I could probably do that. And that was pretty wild.
Just to give you an idea too, it's for Christmas, people will actually bring their chairs. I've heard people bring a couch, like a recliner couch, 3 days before the Christmas parade to the downtown, and they just like line the street with chairs and couches, and no one takes them.
Yeah, they just leave them sit.
Which, this is a shocker for like pretty much anyone that moves to the area. It was for us too when we moved. But yeah, it's kind of cool that you can just leave your stuff out there and no one will take it.
Yeah. The next thing that I think stands out about Venice compared to all the other cities that we've been to is the sheer amount of beaches. 14 miles of beaches. You have lots of different options between Venice Beach, South Brohard, which is the dog beach, one of the only ones in the county where you can have your dog off the leash, and one of the few in Florida for that matter. We also got Sharky's, which has a fishing pier and a beachfront tiki bar restaurant thing, and a beach that goes with that. And then Casperson Beach, which is known as the shark tooth capital of the world. You can get a lot of prehistoric shark's teeth there and lots of seashells. I will say, for some people, they don't like the beaches as much here. If they want a super like pristine sand, which like Sarasota has at Siesta Key, which again, you can just drive there if you live in Venice. So you're kind of getting the best of both worlds there.
And it's only about a 30-minute drive.
Yeah. But our beaches definitely have a different style, different vibe to them that are not really comparable to anything else in the entire state. And again, if you want the nice quartz, cool to the touch, powdered sugar sand, Sarasota's right there. It's
you
really
have
close.
options, yes. And the other cool thing about Venice and its beaches too, and Sarasota County for that matter, it's that it's free to park. A lot of places like in the Atlantic, you have to pay, like Pompano was like $4 an hour.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah, a lot of times like you think like, do people actually go to the beach here? Like, or is this just mainly tourists? Are you really gonna be paying $2 to $4 an hour to go to the beach? But yes, our parking is free. There's plenty of parking. Venice Beach doesn't have a lot of parking, but there is a lot of parking on the street. And then there is another secret one that we told you in a different video, but we won't tell you in this one.
We hinted at it, but we've never disclosed it, so we keep it for
ourselves.
Location. But if you decide to work with her,
we'll tell you.
We will, and you
all
ask
the
her,
secrets.
We'll give you the secrets. That's a perk of working with a great realtor. Another thing that stands out about Venice and Sarasota County really as a whole is great schools.
Yes, and this is perfect for families because not only are you in a safe area, but you're also in an area that has great schools. Sarasota County schools are highly rated, so if you want your kids, to attend to a great school, then this is it.
Yeah, definitely. We have some of the best schools in the state, and I want to say Sarasota County is like one of the top ranked in the country. So you're doing okay here if you're trying to raise a family. You can't really beat that. Low crime, got your beach, got your good schools, and a couple more things that we're going to talk about yet.
Another great thing about Venice is its downtown, the historic downtown.
Yeah, it's a beautiful area, super well manicured, super walkable, pedestrian friendly. They got these little flashing motion sensor lights by all the sidewalks so people know when you're going to cross. Lots of parking there, parking there.
Free parking.
And a lot of
Lots
shops
of restaurants. Yeah, we have a lot of little local shops, and also they're more for souvenirs. That's what you're going to find on Venice Island, but it is a beautiful area to even just go for a walk.
And there's also a few little shops too that have like kind of like designer clothes or like locally made clothes and things like that. So some kind of neat things along those lines. Some really, really good restaurants made in Italy. TJ Carney's, Daiquiri Deck's a fun place to go.
Soda Fountain, it's a fun place to go if you like sugary drinks.
Yeah, and just that it's got that totally retro diner vibe with like all like signs on the walls from like the 50s, 60s, 70s. It's pretty fun. And then there's also a splash pad for the kids in the downtown too, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's in Centennial Park, which this park has a lot of open parking as well, and again, free parking, and most people will park there and enjoy the downtown area.
And I think one thing that stands out about Venice compared to a lot of other beach towns is having that downtown pretty close to the beach, but then what transitions it from that to the beach is this nice, well-shaded, it's got a bunch of oak trees making like a canopy, and they basically have a park in the median with a trail that lights up at night, and you can walk that all the way to the beach. It's sort of a I always use the word magical for that, but it is. It's like a magical little thing because it's like you come over the bridge, you see this beautiful downtown, you park in the downtown, you go hang out, get a bite to eat, you walk down this amazing park, and then the beach is right there, and it's probably half a mile, so it's super walkable for even elderly people.
Yeah, it's not too far, and again, if you can't find parking, near the beach, you can park near the downtown and just walk. It's really not that bad.
I think one other thing that stands out about Venice is something some cities in Florida, beach cities have, but not a lot, and it's a jetty. And we actually kind of got two if you include Nokomis's, but the jetty's like basically this paved walkway that goes out into the water, and there's a bunch of rocks to the side, and you can walk all the way, probably 20, 30, well, that's probably more than that. It's probably about 50 feet in towards the water, but it's not like a pier where you're up high, which we also have the pier by Sharky's, but you're like about level with the water, and you can see manatees, you can see dolphins.
Lots of birds as well. Pelicans, yes. And a lot of people will actually go there and set up their nice cameras, like you can tell they're photographers or are into photography, and they'll take pictures. So it's pretty cool. I would say it's a must-do if you're in the area.
And one other thing that stands out too, I remember a lot of times when I go to the jetty is, depending on what the water's looking like, but a lot of times on the Gulf Coast, the water is going to tend to be calmer than a lot of the Atlantic. And the water will have this beautiful, it's almost like fluorescent turquoise. It's kind of clear, but kind of bright at the same time. And when the water's calm, you can just see right to the floor of the ocean or the Gulf, whatever you want to call it, because some people say the Gulf isn't the ocean. But it's just kind of cool to have that kind of visibility and see. It's just something definitely amazing about that. Next thing that you might kind of surprise you given what happened recently, but I would say overall Venice compared to a lot of other beach cities is better because it has a lower hurricane risk. Now obviously with Hurricane Ian, we saw kind of what happened to this area. We didn't get hit as hard obviously as Fort Myers, first of all. Second of all, Daytona got hit twice.
Yeah.
But if you look at the map and the history, we'll get a screenshot on the screen for you right now, but it'll show you basically how often the different areas have been hit by Category 5 hurricanes. And for an area that's closer to the south end of Florida, to not be hit by hurricanes as much is a pretty good thing, obviously, and can make you maybe feel a little bit safer living closer to the beach.
Now, we did get hit, like Jesse mentioned, we did get hit, we had some damage, but not to the level of even Daytona, which was pretty recent right now. We had damage, but it wasn't so bad, honestly. We got pretty lucky.
Yeah, we didn't see any condo buildings get completely condemned or collapse or any of that kind of stuff. So yeah, I mean, we're not saying that there's no risk, obviously, because we did sustain some damage, and we don't ever know what's going to happen with hurricanes, but just overall, if you look at history, the odds are better here than just about anywhere else, I'd say, you know, with our level and south in Florida. One area I think we're getting better in, but I would definitely say there's a lot of cities that are gonna beat us out on, is gonna be shopping. We don't have a ton of shopping, but we definitely have more than all your basics needs met. We've got, you know, most of the big box stores you want. You've got our Lowe's, Home Depot, Target, Walmart. Bells, which we used to call Beals. Bell's Outlet too. I don't care. I'm just gonna keep calling it Beals because that's what it looks like to me. It's more fun to say that. Yes. But yeah, in Burlington, we got TJ Maxx, got Home Centric, and yeah, there's enough. Plenty of like all your everyday needs, but there's not gonna be a lot of like extra stuff that maybe you would want. You know, you're not gonna have like an Apple store or a Hobby Lobby or, you know,
like Kohl's or JCPenney or any of the big box stores. We do have a Target as well. But the good thing is that you're not too far from Sarasota, which Sarasota has a lot of shopping.
Especially in the UTC area. Yes. You got a whole mall and like everything. Everything you ever need is pretty much there. It's like shopper's paradise.
Yes, it is.
And that's a quick, what?
30 minutes?
Yeah, it just depends, I guess, on what end of town of Venice you would be living on. But yeah, I'd say about 30 minutes is a fair estimate. So you might be saying to yourself now, wow, okay, this area sounds pretty good. It's got pretty much everything I would want out of a city. What's it gonna cost? And you might think it's astronomical. You might not. I guess it depends on where you're coming from, but lay it on them.
Yeah, but Venice is still very affordable compared to many of the areas in Florida. Our prices did increase, as most of the country, or pretty much all of the country. They did increase in some areas, even doubled or almost doubled. But we're still pretty affordable compared to a lot of, like, if you think about the Atlantic, in my opinion, we're still pretty affordable because of that. And you can find homes, depending on what you're looking for, from the $250 for a small 2-bed, 2-bath and upwards.
And that 2-bed, 2-bath, just so we're being transparent, not that you like get a hold of her and expect a 2-bed, 2-bath. It's gonna probably need a little work and be a little smaller, just so you know. Like, don't expect for 2-bed, 2-bath for $250 and like move
and not on the island either. Like, it would be more off the island, maybe South Venice, Venice Gardens. And yes, it might need a lot of work. It might be smaller or older. Yes.
And when we say older, like 80s, 70s, 90s, that's old for this area. And it's not like the Midwest where an old home could be like from the 30s, 40s, 50s.
Yes, but for a 3-bed, 2-bath, you can find something from the upper 300s, I would say. Maybe again, you would need to do some updating, but there is a possibility there.
Yeah, and something a little more move-in ready that's like, say, a 3-bed, 2-bath, then you're looking at it probably at least 400 up, you know, for something a little more modern or more updated or just a newer home. That being said, if you're looking to buy or sell a home in the area,
make sure to call, text, or email us. I am a local realtor here. My information will be in the description box below.
Phone number 941-221-1897. Call or text at any time. We hear from people all the time. We love it. We're always going to have your best interest and happiness in mind when buying or selling a home in the area. If you want to know more about life in Venice, Florida, check out this video right here. If you have any other questions, leave a comment down below. If you found the video helpful, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on all notifications, and
live breezy.